Hey there, crafty friends. Suzanne here in the studio today, working with the Skylark bundle from Close to My Heart. And this is a Bring Back My Pack collection called Skylark. It was a special, a month or two ago. I'm late getting around to this. But we've got a very cool sticker sheet here. And then we have the papers. You can also see I also have the coordinating cardstock. And you get 2 sheets of each of 3 pattern papers. Isn't this gorgeous? The colors are Jade, Lagoon, Limeade, Shortbread, Toffee, and White Daisy. It's really beautiful. The reverse side of that is this. And then next we have this. And the reverse side of that is this green. It's got the little stuff in the corner, and then we've got this beautiful diagonal, and we also have this solid color. So in addition to that, they gave us a sort of all over leaf stencil. This is going to be hard to see no matter what. Maybe you'll see it better when I've done the projects. And a stamp set. And instructions for workshop and cards, because I know you can get scrapbooking workshop and cards out of it. I know I'm probably going to have extra paper left because I won't necessarily do the cards. So I'm also deciding to pull out a retired paper line. This was one of the lines that was in the core catalog a couple years ago in 2021, and it's called Noteworthy. And this, since I did skip making the cards, I then had plenty of paper left to get another double out, but let me give you a couple of hints on the cutting instructions. Okay, here I just went through and X'd out anything, of course, that was a card that said C number 3. And by doing that, then I had quite a bit of this left over. In fact, I had a whole half a piece, and you'll see that on the additional layouts I got. Here on the Lagoon, since I didn't need this skinny strip here, this long 2x12 strip, I actually cut it next. And then I was able to get the 4x4s out of this sheet of paper. And then I wasn't able to get all 4 of these little ones, and I'll show you what I did to make up for that, because I didn't want to cut into the Lagoon pattern paper for just 2 little bitty squares. Okay. These are all pretty straightforward. Again, just crossing out. Had a whole extra piece of limeade since I didn't use that at all. Okay, I think that's pretty straightforward. Let's get to the layout, shall we? Okay, here's the first one. Now on this one, I did do a couple of things different. I wasn't going to do all of the flip flaps that they did. I can always add flip flaps in later, and I don't necessarily need the inside of my flip flaps to be decorated. So that's just a personal choice. So I'm just upfront about that. Also, this stencil is just gorgeous, but I opted, instead of using white cardstock, I use a piece of the Noteworthy paper, which was a kit paper pack from, I don't know, a year ago, the prior catalog. So I use that for my background. Just gives it a little more something something. Then basically this is pretty much to spec, except that they're really encouraging you to learn to use our journaling strips, which I like, but they had them overlapping this first photo, and that just didn't suit me at all. So I left that off, and I just did lines across this journal box. The other thing I did is I made an extra dragonfly. They had the dragonflies over here, so I added one over there. Otherwise, it's pretty much to spec. Up next, this is the second one. Here I did do one of the flip flaps. I decided to do this one here. And something I do on my flip flaps, let me show this closer, is I like to have an actual tab of some kind so that you know that this is actually lifts. So I use the 2 circle stickers back to back. I did go ahead and use the skinny journal strips here. And because these were skinny, I trimmed down the epic story and this is happiness just a little. And then over here, this is pretty much, I changed up how these pictures were. They had them sort of overlapping this top photo, which I didn't like. And then to get these really nice, consistent corners here, I used a 1/2 inch circle punch. And that seemed to work really, really well. Okay, then moving on. This next one I liked a lot. Okay, here's where I told you I didn't have enough of this pattern paper without cutting into a full sheet. So I just used 2 small pieces of the Lagoon cardstock. And then I used that swirly, there's a long swirly stamp in the stamp set. And I just used that to make a pattern on it. So it ties in with these just fine. I also changed up here. I used this magic sticker and then popped up amazing. And then here they had done journal strips here and here and here. I mean, it was a lot. So I decided to change that up a little. Okay, then that brings us to the one that I did. Okay, here again for the base pages, the base of it, I used another thing out of Noteworthy. But you could use shortbread, you could use almonds, you could use, all different white, you could use all different kinds of things. And then basically I trimmed this down to 10.5 by 12, and then I sliced it, I believe it was at 5 and 7, or maybe I think it was 7 1/4 and 4 3/4. And then I just went to this piece here. I had 12 inches of it and 6 inches high. So I put one piece here, and then I put the other piece over here. And then I tucked this piece with the birds on it here. And then I just laid my photos out. And then basically I was trying to go with the bird embellishments. We still had this nice bird cage here. So I popped up this bird here. I used a bird over here in a, these are 2 3/8 inch scallop circles. I had enough scrap to do 3 of those. And then I've got the birds up here and Dream up here. So this kind of allowed me to use pretty much all of the stickers on the sticker sheet. I also decided to do this heart here so it kind of balances. We've got these squares on each side. So I was really happy that this turned out like it did. I used up all of the stickers, and I much prefer getting this extra out of it than having the cards. The cards are nice and everything, and I could use those patterns for other paper, but I really do like how this turned out. Okay, well, that's all for today. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. I also want to say hello and thank you to some of my new subscribers. I won't mention names because not everybody who subscribes leaves their names, but whether you're anonymous or not, I do appreciate you. Alrighty, bye for a bit.